the music all playing and setting the tone. I do like the soundtrack on this show, though. I do like the soundtrack. But they fed into that to make sure you know there was a loving gay couple on this show, but there's no black character at all. I was pissed off about that. But what's up, everybody? Welcome back to My Twisted Life TV with Poetry. I am Poetry. You are here for a recap and review of the new version of Roswell, New Mexico, as it's appropriately titled. If you've never watched Roswell before, you do not have to worry if you missed anything in those previous seasons. I kind of caught on to Roswell maybe 2 years ago, and I ended up binge watching the whole doggone series like within a matter of weeks. I am into sci-fi, as you know. I'm in fantasy, I'm in adventure. I like all that stuff. So especially stuff about aliens and alien technology and far off galaxies into the universe. That's my thing. I like that type of thing. So to see Roswell, I was like excited about it. So it's 4 teenagers who come together in this series. 4 main, it was more than 4, but it was the main characters. There was 3 aliens who lived here in Roswell. Roswell is located in New Mexico. There is a Roswell, Georgia, but that's not the one we're talking about. We're talking about Roswell, New Mexico. Roswell, New Mexico is a city known for its UFO sightings. If you Google it, look in an encyclopedia if they still exist. I used to have me some encyclopedias. Y'all remember when the encyclopedia man used to come by the house and sell encyclopedias to y'all? And my grandmama would always buy me a set of encyclopedias. I used to love reading through those. Okay, anyway, but you can Google is basically encyclopedia these days. Go to the library, look up Roswell, look up all the different UFO sightings that supposedly have been seen in Roswell. So what I loved about this show is that these aliens came to United States, and they look just like us. You know what I'm saying? Like Superman, like Clark Kent. They came and looked just like us. They wasn't the aliens with the big old bobbleheads and the oversized extra eyes with the little tiny bodies and had all the more intelligence than the rest of the world. No, this was regular old schmegler aliens that just happen to have some superpowers. Okay, so our main characters was in the old series was Liz Parker, Max Evans, Isabel Evans, and Michael, I can pronounce the last name. Then there was Kyle, I forgot the best friend, Marie. Kyle, Marie, and Alex were the 3, and then later on Tess were the other supporting actors in the cast in this whole storyline. And then there was Kyle's dad. He was the officer. Forgot what his name was. Okay, so that's the old cast. Well, in the new cast, they made a few changes. Now, when this started, when I first seen the pilot, I was not sure when they said they were bringing Roswell back, if they were going to do an extension of the old season, meaning they were going to bring them back a lot older, because I did notice this was a lot older cast, and we're going to pick up what happened so many years later. I wasn't sure if that was happening. Or 2, if this was going to be a new storyline altogether, with a completely new cast, but still happening in the city of Roswell after the first events back in yesteryear happened with Liz Parker and all them. So when it started off, her name was Liz. I said, wait a minute. Okay, so this is the old characters. They done grew up. Well, no, that's not what happened. What they basically done, they're bringing back the old storyline with a few changes here and there. With older characters, they grew them up. So instead of them meeting in high school and they taking their journey from high school, these characters are already adults. This is 10 years after they got out of high school. So they're 27, 28-year-old characters. They're still named Liz, Max, Isabel, and Michael. We still got Alex and Kyle and Marie. We still have all these characters. But Liz is no longer Liz Parker. She's Liz Ortega or Rachel. She has a Spanish last name. It's a Hispanic last name. And it's set in 2017-18 time. So the UFO was supposed to have landed back in the 1947s, something like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So 50 years later, they awoke in 1997. They were birthed into this world, and they grew up and got adopted. They grew up like regular old kids and got adopted out. Same storyline almost that happened back in the other show. But there's Liz Ortega. I think that's Ortega. Max is still Max Evans. Isabel Evans is still his sister. Isabel is now married now to a guy named Noah. Isabel was like flouncing around on the old show, and she couldn't really find real love because she didn't want nobody to know who she truly was. But she got Noah, and Noah's her husband. Then we have Michael. Michael is still the roughhouser, the one I heard causing trouble, living out in a trailer. He's still a smart ass, you know what I'm saying? And then Kyle. Kyle's a motherfucking doctor. Okay, Kyle was like a dumb jock back in the other one, but now he's a damn doctor in this version of it. And him and Liz still had a thing for each other. They had a thing for each other back on the old show. What I do not like, tell you two things that I do not like. This may not be a popular opinion. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna say it anyway. Michael was actually messing around with Marie back in the old show. He ended up marrying Isabel, or they were supposed to be married for real back in the old show. In this particular show, Michael is gay. And the character Alex, who was in love with Isabel in the old version, Michael and Alex are together. I do not like that at all. The type of person, I guess they want us to see a gay person as this badass. You know, they didn't want to put the typical, stereotypical feminine gay on here as a character. They got two strong men because Alex was in the military. Now Alex wasn't a bookworm. He was a nerd back in the day. He worked with computers and tinkered a little bit. They got this Alex in the military. So we have a military person and this badass rock and roll type of dude. They are the gay couple on here. Okay. The main issue that I have with, like I say, I didn't like the way, I don't like the fact that they changed Michael's character like that at all. At all. Well, one of the biggest issues I'm having with that is that of all of that change, they felt, the cast and the directors or whatever, or the writers felt it necessary to be inclusive of gay people and to be sensitive to gay people. They were also sensitive to Hispanic, Latino people because they changed Liz Parker, who was a fucking Jewish girl, to Liz Ortega, who's a Latina girl, which actually makes sense since they're in New Mexico. Or they could have made her Indigenous American. They could have did it as well because she's in fucking New Mexico. But they did not have the sensitivity to include someone black in the cast. They wanted to be sensitive enough to make sure they be all inclusive of the gays because, you know, the LGBTQ, the alphabet people is what I call them because they got so many letters that they have adapted to identify themselves. They wanted to be extra sensitive and extra inclusive in the storyline to make that grave of a change in the storyline. But they couldn't think to put one fucking black person in the show. Now, the demographics of black people in Roswell, New Mexico is a small percentage, but it's damn near equivalent to the percentages of any city in the United States. There was black people that live in Roswell, New Mexico. But they didn't add that. They could have made Marie her best friend. They could have made her the black girl. Her daddy could have been dating the black girl. Something. Or a black man could have been there. The sheriff in town could have been a black man. Something. But the sheriff is Max. Like they were in high school on the old version. But in this version, the police officer is Max. So they bringing in a lot of the politics. They talked about dumbass Donald and wanting to build his motherfucking wall. They talked about ICE pulling over people down in New Mexico and separating them from their damn families. They talked about all of that in this first episode, but they could not include one black character on the show. It didn't bother me so much in the old Roswell version. I watch a lot of white TV shows and I don't be looking for all the black people. But if you're going to be specifically pinpointing and making sure that everybody knows we got this gay couple on here, motherfucker, include everybody. That's how I feel about that shit. I was like, what the fuck? They made sure they honed in on the relationship between Michael and Alex. They even had this little scene where they got all close and grabby and kissy all hugged up in the club. The music all playing, setting the tone. I do like the soundtrack on this show, though. I do like the soundtrack. But they fed into that to make sure you know there was a loving gay couple on this show, but there's no black character at all. I was pissed off about that. But aside from that, I'm still gonna watch this show because I like this type of stuff. So aside from that, but that was my main complaint with it. So we start off. Liz is coming back into town. She hasn't been home in over 10 years. When she walked away from Roswell, she meant to be gone for good, but for some reason she's coming back. I don't remember. I watched this while I was at work. Her sister Rosa had died. Her daddy still owned the ice cream shop, you know what I'm saying? And she comes in, she's gonna help her daddy out with the shop, you know, help him out because she needed him to get some rest, you know. And she had ran into Max, you know, on her way in. He was the cop that pulled her over. She thought she was being pulled over, you know, by ICE, and he was being harassed. And she realized it was Max. Like, oh my God, Max Evans, he cute. I remember him from 10 years ago. I remember him in high school. Apparently, you know, he loved her on her the whole time in high school, and she didn't pay him no mind. And then right before graduation, she was like, oh, Max is kind of cute. Maybe I should have talked to him. I done wasted all these years like ignoring him, and maybe I should have talked to him. So now she see him again like, oh, he done got finer than fine. Okay. Hey, Max. Hey. Well, he stops by the ice cream shop, you know, to talk to her and apologizes about pulling her over, but to let her know I was only pulling you over just to tell you the fucking headlight was out, some shit like that. Ow, you came all the way here to the ice cream shop to tell me that. You could have ran into me in town any other time and told me that, boy, for real. But anyway, she decides to sit down with him and have some ice cream, talk about old times and this, that, and the third. And while they are there, somebody shoots up the fucking ice cream parlor. And kabam, Liz gets shots in the chest. Now, in comparison to the old version, there was something that was going down. You know, everybody alien crazy in this motherfucking town. And somebody pulled out a gun and Liz got shot in that episode 2. But so it was totally different than this. So they rewriting how it happened, but they still keeping the main key points. So Liz got shot and Max have to save her. He places his hand on her chest and draws out the bullet, you know. And but by him doing so, he generated so much energy into the building that the windows exploded. Okay. So she automatically thinks, you know, that people are attacking them because they are the Latinos, right? And Daddy's like, no, they attacking us with just cause. Your sister was a fuck up. She was a druggie. She did all kind of stuff wrong. So people don't like us because of that. You know what I'm saying? So Max has to go and tell Isabel. I think by him helping her kind of drained him. So Isabel has to come help him. You know, he used telekinesis to call on her. She leave her husband Noah tied up in the bed. He's about to get freaky, do some submissive type of shit. And she goes to Max and helps rejuvenate Max. In the meantime, Michael is getting thrown off of his land. He's in a little trailer. The Air Force is taking over his property, and that's when he runs into Alex. It's been years. Alex is back from Iraq. He got a prosthetic leg now, but you could tell, you could sense the sexual tension between those two. You could tell it right off the bat. But you know, originally when it starts all off, Isabel and Max, they're there together in the jail. With Michael, and he has to tell them, you know, I had to save old girl. And sister girl's like, no, you didn't have to save her. Yeah, I did. I had to save Liz. So now they worried about being exposed. This is kind of like a Twilight type of thing, right? Where I forgot what the hell he did when he had to save her. He had to do something in Twilight. I don't remember. But basically they got exposed. You know, he had to tell her. Because now he done left an imprint on her like they did in Twilight. You know, he had an imprint and stuff like that. and they worried about, like, why did you jeopardize us? We've been hiding this secret for all these years, trying to keep all of us safe. If the world knew we existed, we gonna be fucking science experiments, you know? So Isabel and Michael ain't too happy about Max's decision, but Max like, I'm gonna do it anyway. And not only is he gonna do it, he gonna go back and tell Liz who the fuck they really are. Like, why, boy, why? Okay, so like I said, Michael and Alex, they hooked up. You see they had their tension. They lovey-dovey, huggy, kissy, whatever. But Max got some other stuff going on in the trailer. He got all his charts. He done found all the gems and everything, all the little rocks, stuff from their home world. And, you know, the Air Force is picking up different vibes and radiation from his trailer. They think he running a meth lab. That's basically what they think he running. Well, Liz is like, I know I got shot that night, but there was no bullet in her. You know what I'm saying? There was a bullet hole through her clothes. Max had poured ketchup all over her first because he was going to try to hide it. But she knew something was wrong. She was like, you know, people thought my sister was crazy. My daddy was crazy because they was talking and hearing voices and everything. Kyle daddy was the same way, talking and hearing voices. And so I need to go see if what I know happened. So she goes to the hospital and get Kyle to check her out and run a CAT scan or MRI. I don't remember which one it is. I think it's a CAT scan. Run on her to see if there's a bullet in her body, so she ain't gonna be going crazy. Okay. I don't think we ever got the result of what that CAT scan was. I don't remember that part. Because the next time we seen Kyle and her, he was coming to tell her the information, and they start, you know, getting freaky deaky with each other. They was about to smash and stuff. Took off her shirt, opened up her shirt, and he saw that damn handprint. Like, what the fuck happened to you? Then she got nervous. Then she got scared. Now she really like, okay, something really did fucking happen to me. I need to go find Max. Okay. So in the meantime, Kyle, remember his daddy when he was going through his craziness, so they thought he was being crazy because, you know, all the UFO sightings and this, that, and the third. Kyle remember his daddy saying something like, if you see the hand, then go to Maine, something like that. He thought that was just a mantra or a chant. But he went to some guy named Maine that was Air Force officer, if I'm not mistaken. And Maine goes to show Kyle all the alien technology that they have uncovered since 1947. Kyle wouldn't tell him where he saw the hand at until he was, you know, put me in, coach. Let me know something. You know, give me some. Oh shit, I dropping stuff. Like, give me some information or you ain't gonna get to know where I saw this damn hand at. So, he did all that there. And the military dude showed him everything. You know, these people, they monsters. These aliens, they are monsters. They come here to take over the world. We got to be careful for them. If we see them, we need to kill them on sight. That's basically what he was basically breaking down to Kyle. Kyle still hadn't told him where he saw the hanging. He didn't tell him he saw the hanging on Liz Ortega's chest. But in the meantime, Max and Liz have got together. And, you know, she want to know what the fuck happened to her. Am I motherfucking crazy? You know what I'm saying? So he finally gonna break it down to her. Hey, I'm an alien. Okay. He took her to their lair. I'm gonna say a lair where they was birthed out of the pods. He explained to them the situation, how they grew up along with everybody else. He doesn't see himself as an alien. He sees himself as a brother, as a friend, as an officer, you know, because that's all he's known. He's been raised as a human. So he is a human. You know what I'm saying? Then Liz went to go touch him, or she wanted to kiss him, and he couldn't let her kiss him because the energy was so strong. Might be another explosion if they connect. Okay, so but he did gently place his hand on her, and she allowed her to walk through his memories of all the times he was there for her when she wasn't looking, and how much she loved him, this, that, and the third. In a couple of weeks, the handprint gonna wear off, and they'll be able to touch for real without all the explosiveness. So she's like, I'm gonna kiss you in 2 weeks then, because now she in love with him too. You love me like that. He was there for me like that. Okay. So yeah, so now her feelings for Max are coming to fruition. She done forgot about wanting to sex down Kyle, because she was about to do that a few minutes in the damn car. But like I said, Isabel and Michael still are not feeling the fact that you told her ass about everything. So Isabel like, okay, you want to tell her, you want to be truthful to her. Because she's the one, she's the one he imprinted on. She the one he's supposed to be with. Okay, we get all that, but you fucking over us. We are in jeopardy now because of your motherfucking heart and your dick, whatever is guiding you to Liz. So, like I say, Isabel is really concerned about it. She said, okay, well, since you told her, I guess you told her everything. He's like, oh, no, I ain't telling her everything. She ain't gonna never know about that. I'm like, well, she ain't gonna never know. She would never know what happened to her sister, Rosa. I gotta say Rosa like that. It's a girl at my job named Rosa. And when she introduced herself to me, she said, my name is Rosa. So I gotta roll my R, Rosa. She's gonna always be Rosa when I say her name. I love it. Oh, I love to roll my R's. So, yeah. So evidently, Max, Isabel, and probably Michael too, has something to do with Rosa's death. What do they have to do with her death? I'm excited to see and excited to find out. If y'all are watching Roswell and y'all let me know how y'all thought about this very first episode. If you've seen the old season and you are looking at these changes here too, what do y'all think about the changes? Like I told you, I'm gonna stand firm on the fact that I said that I do not like the fact that they made Michael gay or Alex. You know what? In the old season, I could have seen Alex as a gay person. I could have. When he fell in love with Isabel, I was like, really? I thought Alex was gay. This mix between Alex and Michael, it don't fit the Alex and Michael that I knew from the old version, them being together. And the fact, since they did introduce a gay couple, where the fucking black people at? Why you couldn't introduce at least one black character? It's always one black person in a town of white folks. It's always one. Where are ours at on this show? I need to know. I got questions. I got questions. But other than that, I still like it. The fact that I watched the old version, I kind of know how the story is going to go. When they wrapped up that season of Roswell, I did not like the way it ended because you could tell they weren't ready to go. But they had to say goodbye, and they tried to say goodbye in the best way possible. So if this show has any chance of having longevity, I hope to see where it could go. But that is Roswell, New Mexico. Like I said, you do not have to watch the old version of this in order to watch this new version, because they are blending in a lot of the story from the old version. They're older now. They're older characters. They changed a little background of the characters, but the underlying story, how they got there, Liz getting shot, Max having to save her, now the threat of them being exposed. They live in the little town of Roswell where everybody has a conspiracy going on about aliens and how aliens going to harm us. Like I say, back in the day, it was Kyle's father who was the main officer who was going after them. So I guess the dude the officer Maine, is going to be the main one going after them in this show, since Kyle's father doesn't exist at this point. Kyle's father went crazy. They probably introduce him again at a later time. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me if y'all watching it. If y'all not watching it, you might want to start. It comes on a CW every Tuesday nights. And yeah, there will not be a written review on this first pilot episode either. What I'm going to try to do is write reviews on the recaps that I do on these TV shows. If there's something in there that draws me, it compels me to do so, there will not be a written review or blog on this one. But thank y'all for watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hang with me this season. If you like other science fiction type shows, I do review Star Trek Discovery. That comes on the 17th. I'm really waiting on that. See, that's a diverse cast. They got a black person, a gay person, an Indian person, a Middle Eastern person. Middle Eastern and Indian, are they the same? They may not be. They got a Asian person. They got a religious person. They got all kind of stuff going on. And black aliens and white aliens and everything going on in Star Trek Discovery. That's how you could be inclusive. If you want to include everybody, include everybody. Don't still leave out the black people. Don't still leave out the black people. That's the main thing I'm salty about on here. And then my second thing I'm salty about is the fact that Michael is a gay character now. Like, I'm not too caring too much about Alex being the gay character. But Michael, I didn't like that. Anywho, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace, y'all.